So this is video number 29 in the Red Flags of a Narcissist series. Video 29 is red flag number 29, which is overdependence on their partner. So this is very common for abusers to do, and this can be, again, like the rest of these red flags, it's a spectrum. So it can be very subtle or it can be very obvious. So how this looks is it's them really relying on their partner, either generally emotionally, but physically, but also financially. So emotionally, it would be something like, nobody understands me like you do, right? This happens during that love bombing stage. I've never felt this way about anybody else before. All of this amazing sex that we're having, I've never had this before. It's only with you. You are special, unique, and different. You are the person they've been looking for their whole life. They're 49 and still single, never married. It's because they've never met you before, right? Even though they've only known you for a week. It's just that it's you. You are everything that they've ever wanted. And that's not, of course, that can't be real, right? And I'm sure that you are wonderful and amazing and a beautiful human being. Actually, that's probably why they're really attracted to you, because I think kind of evil seeks out good a lot of the time. So, there's a lot of good qualities about you that I think narcissists and sociopaths and psychopaths really are attracted to. So, but it's that feeling, and of course the victim, because it's this manufactured soulmate connection, the victim is feeling this way too. The victim is feeling, yes, I totally understand how you've never felt this way about anybody before, because I too have never felt this way about anybody before, so it must be real, right? We have this intense connection. So when they do start having this bad behavior, the victim kind of feels obligated to stand by them, because then they start throwing that soulmate card back in their face. Like, how can you just walk away from this? Don't you know what we have? Look at how amazing this relationship is, or this marriage is. And, again, a lot of victims stay because of their ideas maybe about marriage. A lot of people, it just takes time. They don't realize what a personality disorder is. It's not common knowledge. It's not common sense, right? So they're not aware that they're not in a marriage. They're in a manipulation. And this takes sometimes decades of going around the same issues time and time and time and time again before they realize, I can't do this anymore. This person is just the most ridiculous human being ever. The lying and the cheating and the stealing and the lying never seems to end. So then they hop off the crazy train. But of course, as you know, there's that whole hoovering stage where it's really hard to get that narcissist or that cluster B person kind of off your back. They just don't go away. They really don't ever go away. It's really, I'd used the analogy before of like stepping in dog poop, because that's really what it's like dating one of these people. It's hard to go away. And even when they're gone, like they just still kind of linger, right? It's like that stink just kind of lingers around. So, but that's that overdependence, the I need you. I can't function without you. You are my heart and my soul. My life is with you. That sometimes they use really flowery language like that to describe that kind of connection, to kind of just reel the victim back in. Financially, it can be, hey, I need to borrow some money for something, or they don't have a job, or, they have terrible credit, or they somehow need you. They need you financially. They need you emotionally. The victim, of course, especially if you're more of like an empath, or possibly, kind of codependent kind of personality, or just a giver. I think I'm probably a little bit of all three of those. We tend to have a really hard time letting somebody, especially if we care about them, twist in the wind. So, but that's what they're going for. This is all a manipulation. It's to get you to feel that, they might have all these problems, but boy, I bet you have all the answers, and they really need your help. And they just really, this time it'll be different. This time they'll go to rehab. This time they'll go to therapy. This time they're going to get rid of the other woman and the porn and all the nonsense, and they're going to quit stealing and lying. But the reality is they're not going to. It's just going to get worse with time. It's going to get worse with age. The only thing that you can do is really to go no contact, or you can go gray rock. And the gray rock concept is basically where you are as excitable and as reactive as a gray rock. So when they do start using all of this pity, right? This nobody understands me like you, or I'm so sick right now, I have cancer, or I'm suicidal. That's a really common one too. I'm suicidal and I need to talk to you. I need you. You have the solution, right? You have the answer. It's really hard for victims to not react to that. But really all you have to do is, you call 911, let them handle it. You don't react at all to the person, which I know sounds really cold and callous, but you have to realize this is a manipulation. You can't keep getting sucked back into it. And honestly, even if they did kill themselves, that's not, you aren't responsible for their behavior. They're responsible for their behavior. So, hold your ground, have some high standards for behavior that you allow in your life, and standards and boundaries. That's really what it boils down to. Learn these red flags, really go over them. Realize that they're all a spectrum. Not every narcissist is going to have these red flags to an obvious, noticeable degree. Some might have them where you're like, ding, ding, yes, I've heard this before on this video. This is exactly what that woman was talking about. My name is Dana, anyhow. So that's what Dana was talking about. That's exactly what it is. So it's going to be that whole spectrum. When I was dating both Steve and Jack, it was the exact opposite. If anything, I felt dependent upon them. They were my Prince Charming. They were the ones helping me out with everything. Even though I didn't need that from them, it was sure nice, but I didn't date them for that. And they just swooped down and were solving all kinds of issues I had. If I had a leaky faucet, they'd be over. If I had, my dog had to go to the vet, they'd come with me. I mean, any little thing that I needed, they were there. So in those two instances, it was the exact opposite. I had the feeling, very much so, like they were the strong ones. They were the ones that I could really rely on. So this red flag wasn't visible in either one of those relationships. When that relationship ended, then during that whole hoovering love bombing stage, I started to see signs of it. Then it was, home is wherever you are. I love you. I want to be with you. I will move back to Michigan. I've never met anybody like you before. I can't deny this connection. Of course, his wife and I are now talking. We know about each other, and we're forwarding each other emails and text messages that he's sending both of us, and he's telling her the exact same thing. And then, of course, doing a smear campaign on me. So here he is telling me how much he loves me, he wants a life with me, and then he's going to her, telling her how I meant nothing, that I seduced him, that I was, crazy, that I was, basically I just threw myself at him. So, that's kind of how that overdependence played out in those relationships. When I was in high school, I dated a guy who I fully believed to be antisocial personality disordered person. He was definitely a psychopath. He was absolutely nuts. I'll do another video just about that relationship. Long story short, I dated him for about 1.5 years. I still to this day do not know his real name. I do not know his real age. He had lied to me about absolutely everything. I only discovered this after he went to jail. Yes, jail. We were kids. And I was a pretty good kid. I had I had my fair share of stuff, but I wasn't not going to jail, Yeah, so he was absolutely nuts. He stalked me on and off for probably, a good 4 or 5 years after that relationship ended. He was just nuts. But when we would break up, when I would finally get to that point where I'd had enough of him, I would break up with him. And then it was that, baby, and he would literally say, baby, it's you and me against the world. Nobody understands me like you do. Nobody's ever going to love me like you do. Or nobody's ever going to love you like I love you. Like, I love you so much. You are my whole world. Don't you understand? And then, of course, in my, teenage brain, I'm so flattered by this, and I'm taking everything that he's saying for face value. And all of that kind of initial, what I now know to be stalking behavior, but then, showing up on my front porch, demanding to see me at all hours of the day and night, those kinds of things, I was really flattered by it. And I really thought, well, he really must mean that I am so important to him and that I matter. But the reality is, of course, I didn't. It's just a form of power and control, and it's it's just all a giant manipulation. So that's red flag number 29, over dependence on partner. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, frustrations, ideas for videos, you just want to say hi, if you need some support, please join me on my Facebook support group. You'll find the link down below. It is a closed group. People cannot see what you're posting in it, but they can tell that you are in the group. If you're not comfortable with that, you can always, two things. You can always email me. My email will be down below. You can also create a fake account on Facebook, even though you're not supposed to. I think this is a good excuse to create a fake account on Facebook. You can join support groups that way under a fake name and then get support without worrying that your narcissist or any of his family or friends are seeing which groups you're in. Okay? So again, hang in there. As always, love to you guys. You are not crazy. You are not alone. You can heal. You can go on to have an absolutely amazing life. And I promise. Okay? Hugs to you guys. Take care. I'll see you soon.